Some people think you need a label, a manager, and a team to be successful. I'm doing this with a phone because late bloomers, we don't wait for the perfect conditions to do something. We just take action. You think you know, but you have no idea. This is another episode, Late Bloomer Confessions. I believe episode 13, Building Without a Team and How I Stay Consistent. So here's the reality check. I've been a full-time truck driver since 2009. I've been driving trucks for almost 2 decades. And driving trucks takes a lot of your time, takes a lot of the day. You'll find yourself working, anywhere between 11 to 14 hours a day. And once you're done with that day, let's say you work 14 hours in a day, that leaves you with 10 more hours in the day, and 8 of those hours you need to sleep. 7 to 8 of those hours. Majority of us need that much time. And then you need to eat. So you get off work, you eat, probably take a shower, depending on whether you take a shower at night or in the morning, and you go to sleep. Where do you have any extra time to do anything else, right? So that was the reality for me a lot of the time. It was, where do I find time for the thing that I enjoy doing? So a large portion of the time, because I was spending so much time at work, I don't really have any time to do this. But then here comes, the dilemma that we have. So if you never do this again, then you're just another statistic who takes their gift to the grave with them. Because we are all allotted just, a small amount of time. In the grand scheme of things, we are all here today, going tomorrow. So what do you do with that time? That's the important thing. So I had to make the decision, hey, either you die with your gift or you figure it out. And what I figured out is music can no longer be spontaneous. I have to be intentional about this. And what that means is I can no longer wait until I have time. Otherwise, I'll never start, or nothing will ever come from it. And this is why the consistency aspect is so important. What I had to build to be able to figure out, okay, how do I do this? Because here's another reality, for me and for you who's watching, is you're not 18, 19 years old. You're not a teenager anymore who has nothing to lose. You probably have responsibilities, life, family, children, a career, all of the things that, come with, becoming older and mature and being an adult. It's difficult to find not just the time, but also, do I have enough energy at the end of the day? Because it's not like us as late bloomers, we don't lack passion at all. We're very passionate about what we love. It's not the passion that we lack, it's the bandwidth. Bandwidth equals time plus energy. I always tell my wife, like, man, some things don't get done because I might have the time, but I don't have the energy to do that. And I might have the energy to do something, but I don't have the time for it. So how do we figure this out? How do we get this done? Here's the shift, where the shift happens for me. The shift was learning that you have to develop a system. The mantra is systems over motivation. And what I mean by that is, When it comes to, let me explain motivation. Motivation is something that, it's an emotion. It is when you feel invigorated about something, when you feel motivated to do something, right? It's a feeling, it's all emotional. There's a lot of money made behind people selling motivation. We have motivational speakers who are multimillionaires because they're selling an emotion. And you can also argue, it might be controversial, but you can also argue that this is what happens in the church. The pastor, he's selling inspiration. He's selling you a message to inspire you to feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And in turn, that is reciprocated with financial abundance, right? You pull out your wallet and you give that person money because that person made you feel good in that moment, right? However, and what I found, in my life, you can explain if this is similar to you, motivation is fleeting. A lot of times you're motivated to do something and then it feels good, but then when it comes time to actually do what you were specifically motivated about or motivated for, then the motivation is no longer there and you kind of like, all right, I don't really feel good about taking the action. I don't really feel good about the work or the labor behind actually what I was motivated about. And that is the reason why you have to create a system behind what you're passionate about and behind what you want to build. Here's an example of my system. Every single day, I'm posting or I'm responding to comments. Every single day. If you go to my TikTok, if you go to my Instagram, I'm posting every single day. Regardless of how I feel, I am posting and I am responding and I'm interacting with people. No matter how I feel. That is part one. Part two, every single week, I am posting a late bloomer confessions, an episode. Every single week, no matter how I feel. I am posting every single week on my YouTube. Every single week, I am picking a day to where I batch record, meaning I record all of my performance clips and all of my skits in one single day so that I don't have to think about it throughout the week. All I do is post. One day, one specific day, no matter how I feel, I am recording. No matter how I feel, at least one day a week, I am editing at least 2 videos of my late bloomer confessions. So I am already prepared and scheduled to release an episode each week. I'm already ahead of schedule. Regardless of how I feel, this is the system that I stick to. Every single day, every single week, something is getting done no matter how I feel. This is the same exact system that if you have a 9 to 5, you are following. Every single day, Monday through Friday for most of us, no matter how you feel, when that alarm clock buzzes and it wakes you up out of your sleep, no matter how you feel, you get up and you go to work. That is a system. That is a schedule. And because of that, you're able to pay your bills on a consistent basis, right? This is the same way that we have to think about what we're building on top of our passion. The same exact formula works for every single person who has successfully built a business outside of their 9 to 5. They had a system that they stuck to and they remained consistent. They remained consistent. For me, there is no manager, There is no team. There is no record label. There is no financial back. There's nobody coming to save me. There's nobody coming to save you. You have to develop yourself. And having a system in place, it will make a huge difference. And also another part of it is that we have to understand, okay, I have a system, but where do I find the time? Here's the thing. We all have time. We all have time where we just mess around and do something that we could have been doing something productive. Either we're scrolling on our phones, you know what I'm saying? We're doom scrolling. That's where the term comes from. We're doom scrolling for hours. I can sit and I can scroll on my phone, and before you know it, there's 45 minutes to an hour that has passed and I've done nothing. I have made no progress. Or you're playing a video game, or you're watching TV, or there's something that you're doing, an activity that you're doing that's not adding to progress within your business or your passion or whatever you're seeking to build. It doesn't have to be, okay, I'm going to work 8 hours. I have to work this amount of time. I have to work, man, it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It could be a small portion of your day. That's all it takes. That small time that you've devoted to whatever action or progress that you're taking, guess what? If you do that every single day, let's say I only have 10 minutes a day to do whatever. All right, cool. 10 minutes today, 10 minutes tomorrow, 10 minutes the next day, and the day after that, and the day after that. It adds up, it accumulates, it compounds. And before you know it, that little 10 minutes a day that was only 10 minutes one time at a time, over a span of 30 days, 60 days, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, that accumulates to a huge amount of time that can make an exorbitant amount of a difference in what you're doing. It doesn't have to be a lot in the beginning. It just takes a little small bit of your time and a devoted commitment to say, I'm going to do it no matter what. That is the one thing that separates the people who are successful from the people who are still sitting on their couch wishing that they had it. Small deposits make a huge difference. Look at me, man. I admitted to you guys multiple times, I don't have this figured out yet. I'm still figuring this out as I go. What does that mean? I'm not doing this seeking perfection. Sometimes a piece of content is going to flop. Some of these episodes, I'm going to be stumbling and mumbling. Some of this stuff is going to be messy. It's not going to look good. But guess what? It's not supposed to. Only thing that matters is that regardless of how it looks, regardless of how you feel, you keep going over and over and over again. Regardless of how you feel, you keep showing up. Put in the reps, and I promise you, it will make a huge difference. After a certain amount of time, you're going to look up and you're going to say, wow, I did that. But you have to start. Regardless of how ugly or messy it is, just start and figure it out as you go. That's it. That's the formula. And so I just wanted to make sure this mic was on. So my question to you is, what could you possibly build if you stop waiting for the perfect time and stop trying to figure out and stop telling yourself I have no time? You have the time. And when you take that little bit of time, what could you possibly build? What system could you start with just your phone? That's all I'm using is my phone. I'll edit videos on my laptop, but to record and to make content, this is a phone. I'm recording on my phone. You have a phone, right? What could you possibly do if you just started using your phone to just do whatever? Record your passion. Think about it. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start and don't stop. That's it. That's it. That's the formula to success. If you enjoyed this content, I drop a new episode every single week. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. Let me know that you have started and that you have stayed committed and that you're making the commitment today. I'm going to start this and I'm not going to stop until I'm done. If you would like to continue on this journey, if this resonated with you so much that you would like to continue on this journey of becoming a late bloomer, I have a project for you. This is a project that is only exclusively available to late bloomers. I do not make this available to anybody else. Only my late bloomer tribe has access to this project. This project, it tells the story of another late bloomer, and it proves that it's never too late. It might seem like it's too late, but it's never too late to pursue your dreams and use your gift for a purpose. If this interests you at all, if this piques your curiosity, hit the link in the description, enter your information, and you will get instant access. And with that being said, until we meet again, I bid you farewell. God bless. Get started and don't stop until you finish.